In this video, we're going to focus on how we can make sure that these lines are nicely aligned with the bar chart, and same with the other black line here with the black bar. If I refresh, you can see here it will nicely move together with everything. So let's start to look how we can position every line on a specific bar. First of all, make sure you have the border template, which you can find here on chartjs3.com getting started. This specific link, once you scroll down here, copy this chunk of code and you're good to go. Next, if you want to get the source code of this video and many others, check out my Patreon page, and of course join the Discord channel. So what I'm going to do here is, first of all, I'm going to add up here another data set here. I'm going to put in 2 data sets, and then once we did that, let's save that, refresh, there we are. Now we have a group bar. What I want to do now is give these an individual color. The first one here up, I'll just say this will be the red bar. And the red bar will delete everything else here and there. And then the next one will be the black bar. Once I did that, just delete everything else that we don't need. Save, refresh, there we are. So what I want to do next is just copy this again, but now I'm going to just put a comma here, paste, and I'll say instead of bar, I'll make this a line, and here will be a line as well. So sorry about that. So what we're going to do now is we have the red line here. I need to define here that this will be the type. We're going to say here will be the line chart, comma, and then we can just copy this, put it in here as well. Save, refresh. There we are. We have this red line that is overlapping the black line. As you can see, once I hide them, you will see here the lines showing again, as you can see. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that they are aligned nicely, but of course I want to make sure the black line has different values. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to give this different values. Let's say here 1, comma, and then here comma 2, comma 1, comma 2, and 3. Save, refresh, there we are. So we have different values for this, but these should be here on the right scale. So what I'm going to say here, comma, I'm going to say here, I'm going to get new Y scale. So I say Y in axis ID will be, we can say here anything. I'll just say Y2, but you could say, for example, heat or score, anything. Doesn't matter. Whatever you define here must be set in here as well to align them. Basically, this is a new object, and then you're referring to it here. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to say position on the right side. I want to make sure it will be on the right. There we are. So now it looks quite nice, but of course quite confusing. I want to focus on grid lines and equalizing everything. I have videos for those, so I will not cover that here. I want to do is this line go into the center here. To do this, I'm going to use a plugin. So I'm going to say here plugins, or we're going to make our own plugin in this case. I'm going to say here line position. Copy this, and then we're going to say here, this will be the line position block constant. Line position equals, there we are. Then we're going to give it an ID. I'll just say line position, although I will not use this at all. So then what I want to do here is before data sets draw. This is very important, and the reason why I want to reposition wherever we draw this. But this can be done only before we draw the data set, because once we draw the data set, it is already calculated where it will be drawn, and it has been drawn. So before it's drawn, it will recalculate position more to the left side or right side. So I'm going to say here chart, arcs, plugin options. Then what I'm going to say here, I'm going to get specifically something here. I'm going to say ctx.chart.get data set meta. And then we can just say here index 0. Let's save that, refresh, open up the developer tab, and you can see here we get all this information specifically for the data set of bar, and this is the red bar, which is the data set index 0, which is correct. What we get here as well is a lot of information of the coordinates. These coordinates, the x and y coordinates, basically help us or indicate where the center of the bar is here, 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 etc., etc. What I want to do is get that and align whatever we have here on the point with the bar, and then we move them nicely. So what I'm going to do here is the following. I'm going to say a chart.get dataset meta index number 2, and the reason why is because that's the red line. Then I'm going to say here dot data, and maybe I should just give you a console log as well for this. Let's hide this for now so we have a visual. Save, refresh. There we are. We get now all these points as I specified. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a for each loop in that. So what I'm going to say here dot for each, because I want to loop through each item here. Then what I'm going to say here, we have it like that, double parentheses here, and then I'm going to say here the data point and the index. I'm going to grab this function arrow expression, put that in here. Then what I'm going to do here is data point dot x, which is basically the x value here, should be changed. So what I want to do is basically whatever the data point is on index number 2, which is the line, or the red line to be specific, I'm going to reassign that specific positioning. So I say data point x, which is the one right now here from dataset number 2, will be equal to what exactly? The dataset 0 from the bar. And I'm going to say here dot data, and that's the index number dot x. Very straightforward. If I do this and save that, refresh, you can see here now it is aligned with that specific data set. So how do we do it for the other one? Same logic, copy, you can just paste that in here. I'm sure we can even do it in a shorter way, but I'll skip that. So we say here, this is the black line, will be equal to the black bar data set. If I save that, refresh, and there we are. That is all nicely aligned, and that's how you do it.